Hari Om and welcome everyone to the 21st episode of Sanskriti and Sanskar, the show presented by Dadu Zen from Hong Kong. Today we have a very special topic on Vedanta, and I will not waste much time and quickly invite our speakers today, our august speakers today. So first, I would like to invite Swami Sankarananda Puriji on the show. Welcome, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome to the show and Hari Om to you, Swamiji.
Hari.
Yeah. I would like to quickly introduce Swamiji to all the viewers. Swamiji is the General Secretary of IVS, that is International Vedanta Society. He is a devotee of Sri Bhagwan, the founder of IVS since 33 years. It's a long period. He has authored a book called The Living God, which is biography of Bhagwanji, which is translated in many languages, maybe more than 5 languages, right, Guruji, Swamiji? And and he has
now
been...
it has been translated into 1, 2, 3 right now, and the fourth one is going on, I think.
Oh, nice. So fourth is in progress. That's great. And he has been invited by many universities in different countries to render lectures on Vedanta. Welcome, Swamiji, to our show. We look forward to hear a lot about the topic today. Now, secondly, I would like to welcome Pravrajika Shraddha Prana Mataji to the show. Welcome, Mataji.
Hari Om, Namaskar.
Welcome. Hari Om, Namaskar. Welcome to our show, Sanskriti and Sanskar. This is our 21st episode, and please bless us for this show. I will just quickly introduce Mataji. She is a follower of Sri Bhagwanji and international, of course, since 2015, she is associated with the International Vedanta Society. With her large heart, she shares the love and teachings of practical Vedanta. She was searching for truth and found her path when she met Bhagwanji. Right, Mataji? So this is a quick introduction. And now I would like to invite our own Dadu Zen, Sri Dayal and Harjani to the show, and please address to our audience and welcome the speakers. Welcome, Dayal sir.
जय श्री राम, जय झूलेलाल। स्वामी जी आपको सच सच प्रणाम। आप स्वामी जी can you hear? Can you hear me, Swami ji?
I think there is some problem in the connection, I think.
Even
Interrupted.
okay. A warm welcome to you,
Thank you.
and also a warm welcome to Meera ji. I call her Meera ji. Welcome to our show, and I would like to welcome our viewers and all of you, respected guest speaker and panel speaker, with a Kabir's Doha. This is our tradition. So, कहे कबीर गुर एक सुद्धि बताई, कहे कबीर गुर एक सुद्धि बताई, सहज सुभई मिले राम राई. The English translation of this Doha with a almost perfect English rhyme is: the wise Guru told me an easy, simple way to realize Lord Ram within, chant his name in love devotion day by day. And the purport is that Kabir Sahib declares that his Guru gave him the necessary and direct tools or means of God realization, which were to soak oneself in love and devotion towards God. And the apt word for this remembering and chanting in love and devotion is Simran. With this, we will start the show. And Swamiji, please come on the screen. Pradeep, so I can initiate. I would like to ask you, Swamiji, one question to initiate this show. What is the relationship between Vedas, Vedanta, and Sanatan Dharma? Could you give us a brief on this? What happened? Meeraji, can you hear? But I cannot hear you. Please check your mic.
Dayoji. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Swamiji, can you call Swamiji to see where he is?
We are calling.
So meanwhile, we'll have to talk amongst ourselves till Swamiji comes.
Yeah, sure. Right.
What is the delay due to?
Maybe he's facing some internet connections, I guess. Let's see.
Okay, we can have a discussion with Meeraji. Oh, okay,
I think he's
Swamiji.
back. He's back now.
Okay,
He's back.
Swamiji, can you hear? Can you hear us? Please put on your.
Sir, you are on mute. You are on mute, Swamiji.
You're on mute.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are
yeah,
audible.
better.
And I asked you one question. You want me to repeat?
Yeah. First thing is you were speaking of Kabirdas ji about Doha. So I'm very fond of Kabirdas ji. So I would like to, hear the Doha because there was a connection problem and I could not hear it. Sorry.
You want me to repeat the Doha?
Yeah. Am I clearly audible now?
Very well. Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, I'll repeat for you.
Thank you.
कहे
Thank you.
कबीर गुरु एक शुद्धि बताई सहज शाम आई सहज सुबह मिले राम राई. So the English translation, I've written a book called Kabir Speaks, in which I've translated 300 dohas. In all humility, I say to you. So the translation came, the wise Guru told me an easy, simple way to realize the Lord Ram within. Chant his name in love devotion day by day. So that's a simple English translation with a poetic rhyme. And the purport is self explanatory. Kabir Sahib declares that his Guru gave him the necessary direct tools or means for God realization, which were to soak oneself in love and devotion towards God. And the apt word for this, remembrance and chanting, is Simran. And with that, I would like to ask you one question.
Sure.
What is the relationship between Vedas and Vedanta and Sanatan Dharma in brief? So after this question, I will hand over the mic to Meeraji, and she'll ask you 3 questions to pursue this program.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari. The relation between Vedanta, and Sanatan Dharma. Actually, Vedas means to know. It comes from the word with dhatu. That means to know. And Vedas imply infinite knowledge. So, in one word, Veda means infinite knowledge. And Vedanta means the essence of the Vedas. The Vedas can be classified into 4, it can be, divided into 4 parts. The first part is the Samhita, wherein the mantras or the incantations are there. The second part, which is known as the Brahman, The Brahman explains the meaning, the unknown meaning of the mantras, the incantations, the samhita. So Brahmanas, they are the description of the first part, that is the samhita, the unexplained meaning of samhita. The third comes the aranyak. Aranyak means, as we know, that we had four ashrams in the Vedic age. That is, the first was the Brahmacharya, then came the Garastha, then came the Banprastha, and the fourth was the sannyasa. So after Garhastha ashram, when one had his, family life after the age of 50, they went into the woods and prepared themselves for a higher truth, for a higher life. So those subjects which were discussed in the woods, in the aranya, are known as the aranya. And the last part, and the philosophical and the spiritual part, is known as the Upanishad. So the Vedas can be divided into these four parts: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyak, and the Upanishads. The last part, the last section, that is the Upanishads, they are also known as Vedanta. They are synonymous. Vedanta and Upanishads, they are synonymous. And they contain the essence of the Vedas. Literally, it is Vedanta, the end of the Vedas, Ved plus Anta. But when I say that Veda imply infinite knowledge, then there cannot be a end of the infinity. You cannot have an end of infinity. So what does that mean? That means the essence of the Vedas, not the end of the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas, the crux of the Vedas, wherein the ultimate knowledge is being discussed. That is why Vedanta is also known as the ultimate knowledge, which speaks about the real identity of ourself. So that is Vedanta, and it says that this what we see all around, the world that we see, the phenomenal world that we see all around, it is not the ultimate truth. This is the relative truth. Beyond this, there is a truth which is known as the ultimate truth. To know that ultimate truth, to know that reality, is the aim of human life. As is being said in the Upanishads, Atmanam Vidhi, know yourself. So, this is what Vedanta speaks about, to know about the real identity of myself. And Sanatan Dharma means this whole thing. It's a science, and the beauty of Sanatan Dharma is that it is a science which questions each and everything. Like, we are seeing with our eyes, we are hearing with our ears, we taste with our tongue or speak with our mouth. So this is so natural. You see, we don't question them. Normally, there is no question to it. This is what we see, it's a fact. But Vedanta goes into the depth of these day to day experiences. There is a very beautiful saying in the Upanishad, in the Kena Upanishad, where the disciple asks the Guru that, "Oh Guru," the verse goes like this, that Kena Shitam Pratiti Prashitam Manaha, Kena Prana Prathama Praiti Yuktaha, Kena Vachami Mam Vadanti. So that means that what is that which inspires the eyes to see? Does the eye see of its own, or is there someone which inspires the eye to see? Does the pran, it breathes on its own, or someone inspires it to do so? Does our ears hear on its own, or is there something which forces it to do so? Does the mind think of its own, or is there someone behind it which impels it to do so. So they are putting questions that we are seeing this, but is this the reality or there is something else which is the reality? So it's not something mystical. It's not something which we don't see. They are questioning something which we don't see, which we don't experience. These are day-to-day experience. Seeing, listening, hearing, tasting. These are day-to-day experiences. And they are questioning that. Is it the ultimate reality or is there something beyond this which is the ultimate?
Okay.
So this is known as Sanatan Dharma, which enables us to find the ultimate reality beyond this phenomenal world. It's just not a religion. Dharma, it comes from it, the root is to hold, the meaning is to hold. To hold what?
Yeah.
जो धारण करता है वही धर्म है. That which holds is known as dharma. What holding what? The truth. So Sanatan Dharma, which means eternal religion, means to know the ultimate truth beyond this phenomenal world.
Very good.
That is what is known as Sanatan Dharma. And this is the relation between Veda, Vedanta, and the Sanatan Dharma.
I would love to have a discussion after the show or at the end of the show on this particular topic, including one sensitive subject called happiness, which is a
Sure,
misused word nowadays. And but first, I would like our panel speaker to ask you a few questions.
sure,
After that,
sure,
Vishal will ask you, and then I'll come on the line after about 20-30 minutes.
sure.
See you. Pradeep, go ahead. Miraji, please go ahead.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pradam, pradam, pradam.
Swami Sankarananda, there is a question that many people are curious about why Vedanta is so special compared to others.
Okay, so a part of it is what I have already, answered just now. There are various things, like Vedanta. The first thing is Vedanta dares to say that this world that we see is not the ultimate. It questions the very existence of this world. That is this world, the diverse world, the phenomenal world that we see, is it real? Does it really exist? And to question it, you need courage to go into its depth and find out the reality, find out the truth. You need some courage because at the end it says that no, this world is not the reality. It is real, but it's a relative truth. It is truth, but it's not the ultimate truth. It's relative truth. When the knowledge about the Brahman, about the Supreme Self, about the reality of the truth, it dawns, it comes to us when we realize that, then this world ceases to exist. It's not that this world vanishes, this world ceases to exist in the way we see. As now, quantum physics is also saying the same thing. But the very truth has been told in the Vedas thousands of years back that this world is not the reality. I again repeat that it doesn't mean that the world does not exist. The world does not exist in the way that I see. It exists in an altogether different way. It exists as consciousness. So that is the beauty of Vedanta, that it goes into the depths of this, what we see, what we experience. And the beauty is that it does not, it's not, defining, or it's not going into some supernatural things. It's not asking some supernatural questions. It is questioning the very experiences that we feel, that we see in our day to day life. It is not speaking about some mystical experience which only a few people in the world may feel, like having a divine vision or something like that. So it is not everyone's experience, but that we see, we feel, we talk, we hear, these are regular experience of each and every being. They are questioning that. So they are questioning the very basis, the very fundamental things of life. And the beauty is that they dare to say that no, this is not the ultimate truth, this is not the ultimate reality. The reality is something which is beyond all these, that we see, that we comprehend. So that is the beauty of Vedanta. And that is why that is what makes Vedanta very unique. And Vedanta says that you have to experience it for yourself. The things have been said, Vedas, they are known as, means they are impersonal, they do not belong to a single person, unlike other scriptures or other religions. These Vedas, they do not they are not the composition of a single person. They are the experiences, the realizations of different sages whom we call the rishis and the munis from time to time. So they have come out with the truth. They have said that Srinantu Vishay Amritasya Putra, that here, listen, O sons, O inhabitants of the world, sons of the immortal, that I have known the self effulgent being, the divine being, knowing whom one can cross the barriers of death. They have said it. They have come out with the solution where we can cross or where we can overcome death. But at the same time, they also say that you have to realize it for yourself. Don't believe it. And that is another most important, thing or the beauty of Vedanta. Because as I said, Vedanta and Upanishads, they are synonymous. When you open the Upanishads, you will see that it's not a monologue. It's not a make believe thing that the guru or the teacher is telling and the disciple has to believe it. There is every scope of questioning, and the disciple is questioning the guru. He is putting forward his doubt, as I said, just the Upanishad, about the Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, or even Katha Upanishad, or other Upanishads. There is dialogue between the guru and the disciple. The disciple is free to put forward his doubts, even question the authority, even question the authenticity, that how does it happen? I don't feel it. And the teacher, the guru, goes on to explain it step by step. He takes the disciple who is new to this path, who is novice, he takes that very disciple step by step to the ultimate truth. So that is the beauty, that you don't have to believe it, that it is being said and that is the last word. You don't have anything to speak or anything to say. No, you can put forward your doubt, you can put forward your questions, and you will be answered. And that Vedanta says that this world that we see, we like to see this world beautiful, more beautiful, because I am involved in it and I have put all my energy, all my life in shaping this world of mine. My family, my car, my house, my bank balance, my this, everything. And we need, or we like a religion which will tell, okay, come on, increase this so that you may be more happy, more joyful, more this, more that. But Vedanta says just the opposite. It says that you must have a house, you must have money, you must have food, your stomach must be fulfilled. But that is not the ultimate goal. That is not the reality. That is a relative truth. This world that we see, that we feel, that we enjoy is a relative truth. That is not the ultimate truth. And it says that you have to know the ultimate truth. Else, all this will disappear in no moment. There is a beautiful, very beautiful sloka, a verse of Adi Shankaracharya in the Moha Mudgaram, that he says, Makuru dhanajana yovana garvam harati nimeshat kalaha sarva maya mayamidam akhilam hitva brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva. That means, do not boast of your wealth and your beauty and of your youth and your friends and everything. They will vanish in moments. In a moment, everything will vanish. So, because this is Maya, this is illusion, and it keeps us busy the whole life. And he says, come out of it and try to know the ultimate truth, the Brahman, which is the ultimate reality. Try to know it, try to realize that, and make your life worthwhile. So that is the beauty of Vedanta. It analyzes the world. It does not deny the facts. It does not deny our day to day experiences. On the contrary, it goes on to analyze our day to day experience and come out with the truth. Like a doctor who dissects the body and sees where the heart is, where the lungs is, and everything is. Similarly, Vedanta goes on to dissect this truth of the world, of this nature, and comes out with the ultimate truth. That is the beauty of Vedanta, and that is why, that is what makes Vedanta so unique, that it is so scientific. It is so scientific, and you know, as I said, it questions our day-to-day experiences. It doesn't speak of something, you know, out of means out of our experience, or it does not speak of something which is mystic, or something supernatural. It is asking the existence of everything that we see, we feel. So it's a very practical thing, and it dares to say that this world that we see is not the ultimate truth. You have to go beyond it and realize the truth, and that it is possible.
Neeraji, your second question or third question?
Yeah, my second question is before that, gratitude Swamiji, beautiful,
Thank
very beautiful explanation. The second question is, how does Vedanta work in our daily life in this modern era, Swamiji?
you. See, the first thing which Vedanta does is very practical. That is, it gives us self confidence. Vedanta, though speaks of the ultimate truth, the ultimate, knowledge, it speaks about our real identity. But when we begin to listen to Vedanta, or when we begin to, discuss Vedanta, cultivate Vedanta, the very first thing it does is that it empowers us with self confidence and strength in ourselves. Believe in ourselves. Self belief, self confidence. You see, here I would like to quote my very experiences which I, had, because that is the best which I have. Uh, when we went to Bhagwan, and I was like 16, 17 years of age, then when I went to Bhagwan, from whom I've learned everything, each and every word of Vedanta. So when we went to Bhagwan, then I knew that I could not do so many things. Though I was a teenager, but I knew that I could not do this, I could not do that. I am weak in this and weak in that, and so many things. So on and so forth. But when we went on listening to Vedanta, Bhagwan, he always used to say, just look at yourself and see that if you are gaining in your self confidence, is your self confidence increasing? Are you gaining self belief? Is it increasing? And we saw that yes, Our self confidence, our self belief, the power within us was growing, and it was growing immensely. That which I knew that I could not do, I saw that yes, I can do that. If I try a bit, I can do that. It's not that I cannot do. So that is the first and foremost thing which Vedanta does, and which is very much necessary in today's modern day life. Today, when we open, newspapers or TV channels, everywhere there are, things with the teenagers committing suicide because of very petty things, very little things, not getting a mobile, committing suicide, not getting good marks, committing suicide. Even students of very prestigious institution where it is a dream to get admission, they are committing suicide. CEOs of big companies committing suicide just because of the depression, the frustration, the lack of belief in oneself, high ambitions, but without any, cushion for failures, for adversities. We are right from the childhood made to run after our dreams, after success. But there is no knowledge which is being taught to us in any school how to overcome our adversities, how to overcome our failures, how to face them and overcome them. They only teach us you must be successful, you must get good results, you must do this, you must become this, you must become that. But life is not just in getting successful. Nobody's there is hardly any life where one only have success. There must be both. And that is what makes life beautiful. But we must be educated with that knowledge which enables us to face these adversities, this downfall, these failures, and then overcome it. And when we cultivate Vedanta, this is the first and foremost thing that we get: self confidence. If I fail, I know I will again try and I will succeed. I may fail the second time, but I will again try it. Again, I may fail. I will try again, and a time will come when I will succeed. This is what is called knowledge. This is what is called real education. And Vedanta gives you that self confidence, that self belief, that strength to remain undisturbed. And the second thing is very beautiful, that our happiness, everyone wants to be happy in life. Everyone, whether he is a believer, he is a non-believer, he believes in any religion, or whether he doesn't believe in any religion, doesn't matter. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to enjoy life. Everyone, each and every. So, but our happiness, our joy, our happiness depends on so many things: my family, my friends, my environment, my atmosphere, my this, my that, my colleagues, my office, my boss, my superiors. My happiness is, you know, conditioned. The more my happiness is conditioned, the more I will be unhappy. And our happiness is conditioned by so many things. Vedanta gives you the taste of such a happiness, such a bliss, which is unconditional. It will not depend where you are, whether you are rich or poor, or whether you are in adversity or everything is going very good. Your happiness will not depend on any of these external circumstances. My happiness will be in my hand. I will create my own destiny. My destiny will not be created or shaped by any other person or by any environment or by any other factor. It will be my soul work to create or shape my destiny. My destiny, my happiness, my enjoyment, my bliss will be solely dependent on me and nobody else, not on any circumstances, not on any person. So, as my happiness will not be conditioned, I will really enjoy, or I will really know what real happiness is, what real enjoyment is. So these things are very essential in today's life. People are running after money, after name, after fame, and they're also getting it. It's not that nobody is getting it. Some are getting it, but you see, they cannot enjoy it. Enjoyment is something else, because their everything is, our all this what we achieve is dependent on something else. But Vedanta gives you the taste of such a happiness which is not dependent on anything. Circumstances will never determine my happiness. Rather, I will determine my happiness. I will shape my future. I will shape my destiny. And that is why Vedanta is very practical, is very, very practical, and it helps in the modern day. I think, you know, before this time it was not so, of course it was practical and it was very relevant, but not relevant like now. The, society that we see all around us, the situations that we see all around us, the incidents that we see all around us, I think never has Vedanta been so relevant as it is in this modern era.
Gratitude, Swamiji. Very
Thank
well
you.
said. It will benefit for many people who will hear this knowledge from you. And my third question is, what is the relationship of Vedanta with the four types of yoga as subscribed in Holy Gita, Swamiji? Can you explain this for us?
Okay. Now see, Vedanta speaks, as I said, the main aim of Vedanta is to realize the ultimate truth, is to know my real identity. And in Gita, there have been four methods have been described, four yogas or four paths have been described, namely the path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, the path of devotion, Bhakti Yoga, the sorry, the path of karma, action, that is Karma Yoga, and the path of psychic control, that is the Raj Yoga. And the aim of each of this yoga is union with the ultimate or the supreme self. So, and also here I would like to tell one thing, that normally when we say the word Vedanta, by Vedanta we imply the non-dualistic part of Vedanta, which is also known as the Advaita Vedanta. But Vedanta means not just the non-dualistic part, not just Advaita Vedanta. There are three steps in Vedanta. First one is the Dvaita, that is the dualism, where the aspirant thinks himself or herself as, a trivial being who is bonded, who is trivial, who cannot do everything, who is feeble, and who needs someone who he or she has a deity, an idol, and his or her deity is the supreme, and he considers his deity or the idol as omnipresent, omnipotent, almighty, ever merciful, it is infinite, and he thinks himself as just the opposite. And the feeling is that I am your devotee, I worship you, I, love you, I worship you, I revere you, and you are my adorable. You are infinite, ever free, and I am just the opposite. I'm a finite being, bonded with so many chains of bondage. And he worships his idol. He loves and worships his idol. But these two existence, the individual self, that is the aspirant or the devotee, and the deity or the idol or the supreme, is forever different. They do not mingle, they do not become one. He loves to worship him, he loves to adore him, and that is what is known as the Dvaitavad, that is the dualism. That is also Vedanta, the Dvaita Vedanta, the Dvaitavad, or the dualistic part of Vedanta. When one, you know, treads this path and goes a bit further, develops a bit further, then what is the feeling? That I am not totally independent from you, and neither I am totally one with you. I am a part of you. I am your part. I am a part and parcel. And the beautiful example is given like the fire and the sparks of fire. So the spark of a fire is neither the fire itself, not totally independent of the fire also. It is a part of the fire. This is known as the Vishishta Advaitavad, qualified non-dualism. It is non-dual but qualified. The Supreme has attributes, but the here the devotee or the aspirant, he says that I am not totally independent from you like the devotee, neither I am totally one with you like the Jnani, like the aspirant of self-knowledge. I am in between, a part of you. This is known as Vishishta Advaitavad, that is qualified non-dualism. And then comes the crest jewel of Vedanta, which we normally know as Vedanta, as Advaita Vedanta, or the non-dualistic part of Vedanta, or monoism, we say, where the aspirant considers himself or feels or realizes himself as one with the Supreme. He says that there is no difference between me and the Supreme Being, and that is what is you know the four Mahavakyas that we have in Upanishads, that Aham Brahmasmi, I am verily that Brahman, the Supreme Self. I am verily one with it. He identifies himself one with that Brahman. Tattvamasi Shvetuketu. O Shvetuketu, you are the Brahman. The Brahman you are searching for, you are verily that Brahman. That means you and Brahman are not two separate identities. You and Brahman are the same. So all the four Mahavakyas, they imply the same thing, the unification of the individual self and the supreme self. That means the individual of the Jiva and the Paramatman. And this is known as the Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic part of Vedanta. So in Gita, we have the Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, that is also Vedanta. We have the knowledge, the Jnana Yoga, that is also Vedanta. Psychic control, that is one thing, a part of which is meditation. It's an integral part of Raja Yoga. And in Vedanta also, normally in classical Vedanta, classical Advaitavad, or classical non-dualism, they do not meditate, they rather give stress on the discrimination between the self and the non-self. But normally, people, they mix both. A, they do meditation also, and they also have this, of course, this classical thing of discrimination between the self and the non-self. And as I said, that the aim of Vedanta is to discover yourself, is to know yourself. And all these four paths which have been described in the Holy Gita by Sri Krishna also says the same thing, that whatever, and there is another beautiful aspect of Gita, that if you go through it, you will see when Sri Krishna is speaking about Jnana Yoga, he says that there is nothing more beautiful than Jnana Yoga. There is nothing beautiful than, there is nothing more pure than knowledge, which is Jnana. Again, when he speaks about bhakti, he says that is the highest thing. When he speaks about karma, he says no one can live without any karma. So karma yogi is the highest yogi. And again, when he speaks of Raj Yoga, he says that is the most beautiful thing. So what does that mean? Is he confusing us? No. We take up any one of these according to our own tendencies. Each and every one of us have our own tendencies. Ruchinam Vaichitram Dvijakutila Nana Patajusham. That means as rivers having their sources in different places, adopting different ways, straight or crooked, they all mingle into the sea. Similarly, the sadhak or the aspirant, they take up these different paths according to their own tendencies, ruchinam, according to their likings. I may like Jnana Yoga, you may like Bhakti Yoga, another one may like, Raj Yoga, one may like, Karma Yoga. Someone else may mix a bit of karma or a bit of Gyan and Bhakti. So there are these things. But the ultimate aim is to mix into the ocean. That means go and discover the self, the reality, the supreme self, the Paramatman, the Brahman. So all these, Vedanta speaks the same thing that you have to discover yourself. You may go either through Dvaita or through Vishishta Advaita or through Advaita, but ultimate goal is the same. And it says that the paths hardly matter. What matter is whether or not we have achieved the goal, we have reached the goal.
Can I
Thank
ask?
you so much, Swamiji.
Can I ask Vishal to continue the questions? We have got 7 more questions and only
Yeah, yeah,
15 minutes. So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
keep it.
So we
Sorry to
need to
rush.
be a little bit quicker. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
also waiting to ask you some questions, but first you satisfy Mr. Vishal. Vishal, please go ahead. Thank
Sure,
you,
sure, sure.
Meeraji, for your questions. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sure, sure. Swamiji, can we call Hinduism as an extension of Sanatan Dharma? If we say that, will it be true?
In a sense, yes. As I was saying about Sanatan Dharma, the beauty of Sanatan Dharma is that it questions the things that we feel in our day-to-day life, and it goes on to unveil the reality beyond all these things. It goes on to, you know, discover the truth, which is the fundamental truth of this whole universe.
Hmm, hmm.
So that is what is, uh, you know, Sanatan Dharma.
Right.
It is seeking, and after seeking it is getting the answer. It comes up with the answer, with the reality. As I said, Srinnantu Vishayam Vitasaputra. They are proclaiming that I have known that self-effulgent being, that truth, that one truth. In another place they are telling that Gyatva Devam Muchyate Sarva Pashai, that when you know that ultimate, all your bondages are cut asunder. So they question the very experiences that we feel in our day to day life, and they go on unveiling the reality of this universe, the real truth, the supreme truth.
Very nice.
Now, you know, when we come to a broader section, comes Hinduism. Actually, Hinduism, it's more of a geographic thing. One residing from the Himalayas to the end tip in the south of India, anybody
Okay.
living in between are known as Hindus. It's more of a
Okay.
geographical thing. And, as the Sindhu, we know that the river Sindhu, and the ones living on the other side of the Sindhu, they could not they could not pronounce S. They could not say Sindhu. So
Okay.
they pronounce S as H. So
Okay.
the Sindhu became Hindu. So
Hindu.
anyone
Okay.
living beyond the Sindhus, they were Hindus. So it was
Okay.
more like a geographical thing. And
Understood.
Sanatan Dharma, which is eternal religion, it is, you know, more profound. The Hindu religion, as with the passage of time, many things came into it, many sects and many these and that, idols and worships and all these things, they came into being so that
Mm.
people may easily grasp them. Because everyone
Right.
doesn't have the capacity to grasp the infinity or the formless.
Right.
So different forms came in, different sects came in, everything came in. But as I said, the Upanishads, which are the basis of the Sanatan Dharma, there it is being clearly stated, very clearly, as I said in the very first loka of the Kena Upanishad, where it says that does the eye see of its own, or does someone, force the eyes to see? Does the mind thinks of its own on its own, or is there someone which inspires the eye to see? And then they came out with the answer. That was the beauty. They did not just ask the question; they also had the answers.
Mm.
And there they
Yes.
say the Guru, he says, he replies to these questions of the disciple that Yanmanasana manute yena hur manomatam tadeva brahmatvam viddi nedam yadidam upasate. That that which inspires the mind to think, but whom the mind cannot think, know that to be Brahman. So you see, Brahman was not something, and he clearly says, Nedam yadidam upasate. Those who worship Brahman as a separate being from himself or herself, that is not Brahman. Nedam na idam upasate. Those who worship Brahman or the Supreme as something, a different identity or entity from himself or herself, is not Brahman. That is what is Sanatan Dharma. It
Very
brings
well
out the
represented. Yeah.
essence. It brings out the essence.
Mm.
Whereas the Hindu religion is more broad, so that people may grasp it, because everyone does not have the capacity to grasp this. So it was made easier, so
Right.
that the layman can grasp it, can find a way of life, can shape his or her life according to that. So rules, regulations, these were laid, and they followed that, and they led a religious life, a pious life, which would enable them in future to hold
Mm.
or discover the truth.
Right. Sanji, thank you. Very well explained. Just one quick question again. So there is a lot of buzz around the idol worship these days. So how important is worshipping an idol? How does Sanatan Dharma see this as a type of praying to God?
Now, see, as I said, it's not possible for everyone to grasp the ultimate at the very outset. You see, so you need something to grasp. If you are not,
Okay.
because if I say no, you are unable to grasp, so you are not, you are not allowed. That is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. Again, it does not, you know, push away anyone. The beauty of Sanatan Dharma is to accept everyone as its own. So they gave this, process,
Mm.
so that okay, you can come up here gradually,
Mm.
like when a child, he begins to, read, his
Mm.
book is full of pictures: A for apple, B for ball, C
Right.
for cat, and D for doll. And
Yeah. Yeah.
anybody who comes to his house, any relative or anyone who comes to his house, he will take out his, this book, and he will show them, see, A for
Right.
apple, see, this is an apple, and he's so happy,
Right.
and everyone likes it. But that book is being given to him not to see the picture of the apple, but
Mm.
to identify the alphabets, which he
Right.
identifies with the help of those pictures.
Mm.
That very child, when he goes into class 6 or 7, the pictures reduce. There is no more apple or boy or cat or doll in the book. The pictures are being replaced by experimental things, pictures
Right.
from the lab, physics, chemistry. And
Mm.
when he goes further, you will see not a single picture. When the very same child, he suppose he is going into literature, he goes into literature and he is doing, maybe MA. Now he will be having this thick book of Shakespeare or Tolstoy, not a single picture, and he doesn't want it. Now, if someone puts a picture of an apple, he will say, no, 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 not this, not this. So it is a very
Very well
silly child,
explained.
So it is a
Very well
very silly
explained.
child who was enjoying his book with the apple and ball and cat and doll and everything. But the same child, when he, develops, there is no necessity of any picture. Similarly, our mind is like this. So our self-realized souls, we say the rishis and munis or the mahapurushas, they understood that everyone cannot grasp that ultimate at the very outset. So they gave those apple and bat and cat and doll so that one may identify the reality, the real essence which was meant through those idols. They are
Very nicely
symbols
explained.
of the.
Very nicely explained.
So it is very much necessary for one who cannot grasp the ultimate at the very outset. It, undoubtedly it has a very big part to play.
Very well answered. Dada, can you take this from here because we are pressing on time. Dayal sir.
You can ask two
Okay,
quick
sure, sure.
questions with two quick answers.
Yeah, okay, okay, done, done. So can we say that Sanatan Dharma is more of a value system than a religion? Can we say that?
It's not even value system. It's seeking the truth and finding it out. Seeking
Hmm.
the truth, seeking the reality. It's a science. It's a pure
Science,
science.
okay. Science.
Today even science is asking that uh, they are trying to find out one fundamental theory from which all other theories can be deducted.
Hmm.
The same echo you can find in the Upanishads, where the disciple asks
Hmm.
the Guru that,
Hmm.
"Oh Guru, what is that knowing which everything else is known?"
Hmm. Hmm.
So today, when quantum physics is speaking about theory of everything, the TOE, theory of everything,
Yeah.
that one single fundamental theory from which all other theories can be deducted, this very question has been asked thousands of years ago.
Hmm.
Kasminnu bhagavato vigyatam sarvavidam vigyatam bhavati iti. Oh Guru, what is that knowing whom everything else is known? So it's a pure science.
Hmm. Hmm.
They have discovered the reality beyond this phenomenal world. And they have known, they have discovered, and just not discovered, they have proclaimed boldly this message that this world you see is not the ultimate. There is a truth beyond this world that we see, and know that truth. Else, whatever you may achieve in this world, you may achieve everything in this world. But if you don't know that truth, everything is in vain because you don't know the fundamental truths, which is the underlying substratum of everything that we see, that we feel, that we hear. So it's more of a science which is very practical, and the science which gives us the power to lead, to enjoy, to do anything.
So,
So
Swamiji, when you say science, it's a science. I really that is a new thing for us for sure, but it's a good perspective to see. So, do you think that that these four yugas, there are four yugas, right? Satyug, Treta Yug, Kali Yuga, and one more Dwapar Yuga. So, all these four yugas, the Sanatan Dharma remains stagnant in all the yugas, or it keeps evolving in different yugas? That is a big question.
you see, truth is one and the same. It doesn't evolve. What evolves is our thought process.
Right.
Truth cannot evolve.
Right.
Like uh, you nowadays we have several pictures of the sun, through this telescope camera and all telescopic camera and everything. Now one boy goes and looks at the setting sun in the ocean horizon and takes a beautiful picture of the sun. It's very beautiful, setting on the horizon of the sea and mixing with the sea. It's so beautiful. And he posts it on Facebook and Instagram and all those things. Now there is another one who has taken the sun of a midday sun and he also sees the sun. He also puts it the sun. And then we take a closer look at the sun with the telescopic camera. And now we are sending satellites which are revolving very close to the sun. They are also taking photos of the sun. And now we are seeing new pictures of the sun, which we have never seen before. So
Right.
our perspective about the sun changes. The sun never changes.
Hmm.
Whether we
Right.
take a photo of the sun setting on the horizon on the sea, or whether it is with a telescopic camera with the blasts happening, with the flames coming out,
Hmm.
the sun is the same.
Hmm.
So the truth
Very
never
well answered.
changes because the truth is unchangeable, intangible, eternal. That which is eternal will not change. That which is intangible, that which is unchangeable can never change. It is changeless, unchangeable. So Sanatan Dharma speaks of a truth which is unchangeable. So that doesn't change. Our perspective about the truth, that changes. Like, as I
Right.
said, the child who enjoys his book with full of photos, that very child, when he grows up, he doesn't want any picture. He is more than satisfied with just the story and the novels and all those things, or the experiments.
Right.
So our
Very great
perspective
example.
about the truth, it changes. The truth which Sanatan Dharma actually speaks of, that truth doesn't change. Yes, some process or some methods they change with the change of time, of course, but the truth remains one and immutable and unchanged.
Great answer. Great answer.
Fantastic.
Dada Dayal sir, you can now take it over
Vishal,
from here.
just that
I
Pradeep,
finished
we
my
might
questions.
need 10-15 minutes more because I want to uh, ask a few questions to Swamiji.
Sure, sure,
Very
sure.
interesting answers, and I'm really enjoying it. We all are enjoying it, rather. Swamiji, quick few questions.
Yeah.
If you say truth is does not evolve, and it is something like Satchitanand, is permanent, it has got all the attribute, I mean, qualifications of knowledge, peace, and in that case, why people generally talk about uh, that Atma comes under illusion? How can Atma come under illusion? It's a
At-
perspective must be illusory, not
yes.
Atma, right?
Atman does never come under illusion. Atman
So,
is ever free and pure. So that
exactly.
which is ever free can never come under illusion.
So then,
What
who is the person? Who is the entity that comes under illusion or comes under the perspective of Maya? This is a very
it,
confusing thing.
it is the Jivatma, one
Oh,
who is under the spell of Maya. He or she comes under illusion. That which I think as me, which consists of my body, my mind, my intellect, my ego, my chitta, all this together, which I think as me, because until and unless I know my real self, this is what is me, which I think, that comes under illusion. But the Atman, which is truth, which is ever pure and ever divine and ever free, does never come under any illusion whatsoever because it is intangible. Anything means nothing can touch it, not even Maya. Nothing
so
can touch
basically, you are trying. See, my perception is that when the soul or Atma uh, gives the, or rather, goes through the senses or activates itself through its senses, then the mind is formed.
it. Yes,
And the mind itself is a product of a temporary aspect of the soul uh, trying to convey itself through the senses. Is this correct thinking? So that mind,
yeah,
which is not clear about many things, and therefore uh, that is a mind that has to be improved by way of yogas, questioning, jnana yoga, to create more awareness. And when the awareness comes, the mind gets rid of all the sanskars and vasanas and therefore becomes a plateau of peace or no mind situation in which the soul reflects itself. Is this thinking correct?
Yes, actually, it is the mind which comes under illusion, and it is the mind which gets free, because Atman never gets free. It is ever free.
Hmm.
There is a very beautiful saying, in the Upanishad, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaya. That mind is the cause. It is the very cause of bondage and liberation. Both. That
Correct.
mind which is engaged in material thoughts and thoughts about the external world, running into the external world, causes bondage, enchains you. And that very mind, when gradually trained, goes under training, listens to Vedanta, practices it with a bit of meditation and whatever process you may adopt, and it gradually goes inside rather than going outside. It goes into the inner world and discovers the truth. That mind, which is known as Nirvichaya, the Visha, the Vishasakta mind, that which is attached to Vishayas, that means matters, that which is the mind which is attached to matters, that mind creates the bondage. And that very mind, when it is gradually trained and it leaves the external world and goes inside and discovers the truth, that becomes the cause of your liberation. So it is the mind which comes under the spell of illusion. And it is that very mind which gets freed, because Atman doesn't gets liberated. Atman is always liberated. It is ever free.
Exactly.
The, that which is ever free cannot become free again. Because whenever I say it is liberated, that means it is liberated from some chains or bondages. Atman cannot be bonded. What is bonded is the mind. So it is the mind which gets bonded, and it is the mind which gets liberated. The Atman
So then,
remains as it is.
so the question comes here. There are many people talk about ego, and this is the cause of many confusions and misunderstandings. Uh, would you consider that ego is the identification of the mind with the body and mind complex itself?
The ego is actually the feeling of me and mine. That is what makes ego. That my mind, it is also ego. That which feels me and mine is known as the ego.
So,
It may be
can we
my
say that?
mind, it may be my body, it may be my wealth, my money, my anything. Anything which I think as me and mine is the ego.
So, but the identification with the mind and body is the primary
Mind,
cause,
body, or anything else.
and then the rest follow up. So,
Yeah,
ego, you could we define ego basically as an identification of the mind with itself and the body, that I am the
yeah,
body, something like that. So
yeah.
in that case, karma yoga, there is a question by uh, one of our members, Reena Melwani. She asked one question: can one attain mukti by karma yoga?
You see, that's a very interesting aspect actually about karma yoga. Karma yoga cannot give you liberation directly. That is the most interesting part. Why? Because you see, as I said, Vedanta is very logical, it's a science. It's not that I say you and you believe it. There is a science, there is a logic. Karma yoga in itself cannot give you liberation directly, but it is the indirect cause of liberation. Now, why? Why can't karma yoga give you liberation? Because whenever I am of doing any action, whenever I am engaged in any, act, there I am doing. The I remains, however subtle it may be, until and unless I know my real self, I realize my real nature, this I does not go. It's impossible. Second thing is, so the I remains, so when the I remains, there is no question of realization. There is no question of liberation. The second thing is, karma is limited, isn't it? You have a limited karma. Now, if liberation is the cause of karma, then it is the fruit of karma. Liberation becomes the fruit of karma. Now, whenever it becomes the fruit of karma, now karma being limited, the fruit will also be limited. So when my fruit ends, I will again be in bondage. But once somebody realizes the self or is liberated, he or she never comes into bondage again. So karma cannot give you direct liberation. But then how does it help us? It helps in cleansing or in purifying the mind. Our mind with the selfless work, what we could know as Nishkama Karma, as is said in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Karma Yoga, that offer everything to me and then work. What happens in that? My mind gradually gets purified. And what is the meaning of purification here? My mind gradually becomes still. I come to a position where I can make my mind gradually still. My mind gradually, day by day, it becomes quiet and still. And once my mind is cleansed and purified and it becomes still, on that calm and quiet and still mind, Brahman is reflected or vouchsafed, and you know Brahman. So, karma becomes the indirect cause of liberation, not the direct cause. It helps in purification of the mind, and this pure mind is the one which receives the reflection of Brahman, which is known as self realization.
So, our second question is, what is the definition of bhakti, and can true bhakti be separate from Jnana Yoga?
What is the true or real bhakti? It's very hard. Bhakti means devotion without any condition. That is real bhakti. A devotee, a real devotee, will love God just for the sake of loving God, without asking anything whatsoever, not even liberation, not even his own happiness, his peace, his what, anything. He will just love God for the sake of loving Him. And at the zenith of bhakti, he will not even think whether God loves him or not. He will just love. Whether you love me or not, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I love you. Why? Because I love loving you. Whether you love me or not, give up giving peace or whatever it is. He will never ask for it. Even he or she will not care whether God loves him or not. Normally, when we love someone, what we think that I must be reciprocated at least with that love, that I love you and you also must love me. But at the zenith of bhakti, at the ultimate or the peak point of devotion, the devotee even doesn't bother whether his idol or his God loves him or not. I don't care. It's up to you whether you love me or not. I love you. That I know. That's it.
But the enigma here, this is a very enigmatic situation. I don't know myself, I don't know God. So, how can two unknown entities love? I mean, to love somebody, you have to know the existence, you have to perceive. I cannot perceive God except by my imagination or by some kind of a faith of conviction that this entire universe has been created by a cosmic mind. So I can only submit helplessly to that cosmic mind. But how can I love something? This is an enigma. Can you dwell on this subject?
Yes. In bhakti, faith or belief is the fundamental thing. That is the fundamental aspect. That is the difference between bhakti and gyan. Gyan dissects, analyzes. There is no analysis in bhakti. I know you are there. That's my belief. How you are, what you are, I don't know. But I know you are there. And he or she, attributes all the good things in his or her God or the Supreme. omnipresent, omnipotent, all merciful. So that is, you may say, his or her own concept. That is it. Let it be my own concept. But I know this is you, and I love you. So there is not even knowing me, that I don't know myself. I don't care whether I know myself or not. I don't care whether I know you or not. I know you are there and I love you. That is it. And that is what I need. I don't need to explore myself and find out who I really am. I don't want to explore you and know whether you really exist, or in what way you exist, or what form you exist, or what is your real nature. I never care about these things. I just love you. That's it.
So
And
is devotion concerned with singing sad songs or doing kirtan, or is it an inquiry into the unknown, or inquiry into,
no,
or
in
wondering about the
devotion,
God's
no,
power and
in devotion, there is no inquiry about seeking the truth. He doesn't seek the truth. He is satisfied with his God. He is satisfied with his deity. He know that he is my all in all. I don't care anything else. I know I love him. What is his form? What is his nature? He is Satchidananda or what? I don't care. Like when a boy loves a girl. Now, he is madly in love with the girl. Now, the family of the boy says, "You please don't marry her. He is not a good girl." He will not listen anything. He doesn't care whether the girl is from a good family, bad family, the girl is like this, like that. I just love her. That is it. That is the end of the story. So, similarly, in devotion, I just know that he is my God and I love him. That's it. How is he? What is his nature? What is his real nature? What is my real nature? I don't care about those things. That is, there comes the word surrender. That I surrender unto you. I don't know anything. But as I say, that it is the highest form of bhakti, and it's a very classical thing. If one can be a real devotee, there is nothing beautiful than that. That he seeks nothing from his God. He know he knows that he can give me anything I want, but he will not ask a single thing, not even liberation, not even peace, not even whatever it is. He will ask for nothing. As I say, he will not even ask for his love to reciprocate. I don't care whether you love me or not. I love you. That is what I want. That's it.
so would you say then the top uh, uh, bhakti yoga, in a sense, is a feeling of total surrender and submission
Of
to
course,
a cosmic mind,
of
and
course.
full
But
trust that whatsoever happens is with his tiding and biding.
yes, yes, yes. But I say again, this is very hard to come, because when I know that the one in front of me, whom I love so dearly, can give me anything, the mind will ask for something.
Exactly.
But the real devotee will not ask for anything, anything. Even if there is a accident in the family or anything, he will not ask. There will be not the slightest of thing in his mind that, okay, let me ask this. Never, it will never come in his mind that, okay, I am in trouble, let me ask for some peace, or at least let me show me a way. He will never ask. He will say, I will deal with that.
It's a
There
very
is a
high state. It's an
yes, yes.
unconditional, very high state of
That is the
total
highest.
surrender.
I tell you a story, to just a very small story which explains the devotee. There are three kinds of devotee. You see, the lowest, the medium, and the highest. Okay. So there were three friends going through a forest, and suddenly there was a bear which was coming from the opposite side. Now the first friend said, "Oh, now we are done. We will die surely. Nobody can help us. Nobody can save us." The second one said, "Why? God keeps us alive and God kills us. So we can pray to God and He will save us. It is He who kills, He who saves. So pray to God, He will save us." The third one say, "Why do you bother God about this? climb the tree. Let him remain in his own way, let him remain in peace. So the first friend who said that now we are dead is the lowest devotee. Really, he doesn't know that it is God who keeps us and it is God who kills us. The second friend who said, let us pray to God because it is He who does everything. It is by His will that everything happens. So if we pray to Him, He will help us. He is not the highest, He is the medium. Highest is the third one who said, why do you bother God with such petty things? Let Him remain with His peace. Let us climb the tree and just escape from the pain. He doesn't disturb God even when He is face to face with death. That is devotee. And that is devotion. Loving just for the sake of loving. He loves God just
The
for the sake of loving.
very, very difficult scenario here.
I said you at the very
I don't
outset
know if
that
we have enough time. Pradeep, do I have 10 minutes more or no? I would like to ask one more question. Pradeep, can you hear me? Swamiji, before Pradeep comes in, I want to steal this. Yes, uncle, he says, okay. Uh, how would you define Paramatma, Atma, and Brahman? I mean, we all have our own conceptions, but today I would like to listen to have your conception to see if there is any attunement.
actually they three are the same. They three are one and the same. Actually, they are not three different things. They are the same thing seen from different perspectives. Like the sun, as I said, seen from different distance seems to be different. Similarly, the same truth, when seen from different perspectives, appears as Atman, Brahman, or Paramatman. But it's not actually two or three identities. It is one and single identity because Brahman is one and indivisible. Ekam eva dvitiyam. Ekam eva advitiyam. It is one and indivisible. So, as it is said that Brahman is immutable, so you cannot break it and make it three. We may seem to do it so, but it is not actually possible. Like, you know, you must have seen, we all see when, especially when we go to the villages, that there is a pond, a big pond lying, and there are two sticks lying on the water. We have seen it. I think you have also seen it. A piece of two bamboos or two sticks lying on the water, maybe two or three or a single stick. And suppose there is a fish or something, and I'm going with a friend, and I say, you see the fish there? He says, where it is? I say, you see on the other side of the water. You see the other side of the water. And then he sees, he says, yeah, 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 that is the fish. Yes, I've seen it. It's so beautiful. Now, what do we say? The other side of the water. Why? Because there is the stick lying. And as the stick lies on the water, it seems that the water is divided into two or three parts. If there are two sticks, it will be three parts. If there is one stick, it will be two parts. But the moment you take up the stick, the water is one and the same. Even when there was the stick lying on the water, floating on the water, it was one single water, one single body of water. It was never two. But due to the stick of the bamboo lying on the water, it seemed that there are two different parts of water. Similarly, it is due to our ego, our mind, that the same truth appears to be Atman, Brahman, Paramatman, but actually they are the same term, they are different terms of the same truth. That which is Atman is
So,
Brahman, is Paramatman.
so can I conclude there to say that Brahman and Paramatma uh, and Atma are all the same? Jivatma is a what you call aspect of Brahman and Paramatma.
Jivatma is also one with that. It's just the stick lying. It is due to the stick that the same Atman or Brahman seems to be Jivatma. Atman or Brahman can never be divided or cut into two. It is infinite. The infinite can never be finite. There can never be two infinities, or you cannot add or subtract from the infinity. It is impossible. Infinity is infinity. It is perfect
How
and
can mind, then mind and the mind should be permanent. Or once a mind realizes itself or comes to supreme awareness, then supreme awareness and supreme consciousness merge to a particular point of realization. So, can you talk on this?
sorry, can you repeat it?
The purpose of existence and yoga is to create a mind that is single pointedness. That's number one. Number two is that one should realize that the mind is itself an illusion.
Okay.
So, how do you see this? Till I regroup my mind again. They teach us that the only thing that we can do is to create awareness because consciousness is Atma, according to some people.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so consciousness to realize itself needs certain mind and mind body equipment. So, from amoeba, the soul will express itself in a limited manner. Then, as we grow and evolve, the mind and our bodies become more subtle, then the soul is able to express itself in a more, better subtle way. So, this is the entire evolution of our mind, and so the soul is a binding force or the substrata of existence. But the mind has to continuously improve itself and evolve till
Yes,
it comes to a situation that the objective mind and the soul are one or completely attuned. Can you guide us on this?
yes. The first thing is that what you said, that the single pointedness of mind, that the focus of this spirituality, or whatever we say, religion or spirituality, is the single pointedness of mind. Actually, it is more than that. It is going beyond mind. Single pointedness of mind is to get focus, but to focus for what? To
For
go
our
beyond
entire body.
mind.
Yeah,
To
correct.
go beyond mind. It is only when I cross the barriers of mind, because mind is in itself limited, however subtle it may be, but it's still limited. And our goal is to achieve, or to attain, or to realize, in fact, it will be a better term to use, to realize infinity. And it is never possible to realize infinity remaining within the realms of finiteness, that is remaining within the realms of mind. So the goal is to cross the barriers of mind, but with the help of mind, to make it single pointed and to go beyond it. So that is the ultimate aim, just not to get single pointed, but to cross it. The second is that yes, it is the mind which gets illusion, and we must, develop our thought process, because as I said, the there is no change in Atman or Brahman. There is no development in Atman or Brahman. It is one, unchangeable, permanent. That which is permanent cannot change, cannot undergo any change. It is impossible for it. By its own nature, it's permanent and unchangeable. So we have to develop our thought process and bring out this mind from its illusion, and gradually develop in order to perceive or comprehend this truth, this ultimate. Now, number third, to create an awareness. Yes, we must create this awareness about this consciousness. And the whole of religion or spirituality is about letting humanity know that you are one with this consciousness, you are one with this Brahman. Know this real real self of yours, know this real identity of yours, and be free. And the last one, you what you said is that consciousness, yes, you will see that first when we express ourselves in any religion or spirituality, it is first expressed with the, with a tinge of materialism. He is like this, he is like that, or this is like this is like that. But the more we develop in this field, we find consciousness expressing itself in the term of consciousness, not in any other material terms. So we must enable our mind or take our mind to such a level, to that level, or to that position where consciousness will be able to manifest itself as consciousness and not through any other thing. Consciousness, when it, there is always the expression of consciousness, but when it expresses itself, we get some knowledge about a matter, about a subject. Like I am reading science. Now it's my consciousness, my knowledge, which is reading the science, but the knowledge does not get revealed. The subject itself gets revealed. I come to know about, physics or chemistry or science. I'm reading English. It's the knowledge which I'm using. It's the same consciousness which I'm using. But the consciousness reveals English. I come to know about English literature. But that which helped me to reveal it remains unveiled. So gradually, when this tinge of matter is taken off, that means when our mind becomes subtle more and more, listening to Vedanta, discussing Vedanta, cultivating this knowledge, our mind naturally becomes more and more subtle. And then this materialistic part, it gradually goes away. And a time comes, as I said at the very first point, that we have to go beyond mind. Then, when we are able to cross the barrier of mind, then consciousness is expressed as consciousness, not as any other subject,
But it is
just as
expressed,
subject.
it's expressed and reflected on the mind. How
Yes,
can it? That's what I would like to know. And then there is one question that bothers me quite a lot is the aspect of happiness. Unless of course, we can always refute it and say that all suffering is relative. But we are human beings. We have feelings. We have love. We have all the feelings that create attachment and love. How do
yes,
you see this? Uh, Everybody says, "Oh, we are happiness." Okay, I understand that, but be happy, don't worry. But it doesn't happen. Because happiness, there are two types of happiness. One is external happiness, which is a hype. By you indulge in something, you expect your desires are fulfilled, so you feel happy. It's a hype. But then that hype doesn't remain long. It comes back to the plateau of peace or it falls down into a depression. So, what are we talking about? I think running after happiness itself is a myth because what we should be running for is trying to see what causes us unhappiness or disturbance, and then happiness is already there in the happiness cannot be defined as such. But if it is Satchitanand, then you cannot define, nobody can define happiness in its absolute terms. So the only way is instead of running after happiness, you run after finding out the cause of unhappiness. And once the causes are unfolded, by and by you'll gradually come to a state of happiness and you'll feel this. Is this thinking correct?
yes, exactly. We are of the nature of happiness, but until and unless we know this, we are, we are, or as long as we identify ourselves with the body and the mind, we will have to undergo, pains and sufferings and agonies and all those things. That is so true. And we are of the nature of happiness. It's not that I must be happy. I am of the nature of happiness. I am of the nature of bliss. Satchit Ananda, Ananda, which means bliss. I am of the nature of bliss. So what I have to do is that I have to just give up that which causes the
And
pain.
happiness.
Yes. I have to
But
just give
there's
up.
one thing that I cannot come to terms with is that when you see somebody else suffering, then our heart feels pain. We feel
Yes.
compassion. We want to do something. We want to do charitable work or help that. So how can we, if some of our friends are in the hospital. How can we reconcile and be happy? I can't understand that.
See, you have to do, Vedanta doesn't say that your heart must become such that whatever happens, you must be happy, even if your friend or if you have someone in your family who is very sick. Till then, you must laugh and you must be happy. No, not that. You have to do what makes or what comforts him or her. Because being a mm, trader, being a being one as being an aspirant rather, it doesn't mean that my heart must become a iron heart, without any feelings, without any emotions. No, not that.
Exactly.
Then I can really love him in the true sense. I can not only love him, I can love him or her in the truest sense of the term, without any barter system, without any give and take. It will not come to me then that okay, when I was unhappy or I was in the hospital, he did not go, I will also not go. It won't come to you then. It will gradually and spontaneously come to you. Okay, come on, let me do my part. Whatever I can do for him or her, let me do it. So it doesn't make you a person without any emotion like a stone or a rock.
So
On the
in
other
that,
hand,
yes, we must try to tell the people that happiness is not a matter of indulgence and laughing loud at parties or
no,
indulging
no,
in
no, no,
food
no.
and all these things. But
If
happiness
I
is actually a peace of mind, a calmness, the way
at
you
the
resolve the
outset I said
situation.
at the beginning, I said, our happiness, as long as it will depend upon our environment, our circumstances, our external things, that is not happiness.
Exactly.
That is not happiness.
So people are in the wrong mode of trying to ascertain what happiness is. So people indulge in parties and all these loud music, laughter, and they get into drugs and things like that. So
That is
that is
not
not happiness.
absolutely not. Happiness, real happiness, will come out spontaneously without the help of anything. You don't need an external agency to make you happy. As long as I need an external agency to make me happy, that is not happiness.
Exactly.
That is
Okay, got it.
that is condition, and anything which is conditioned cannot be free. Real happiness comes when I realize what real freedom is.
It
That
was
makes me
really,
happy. That becomes
really
that is real.
enjoyable to speak to you. Really, our hearts are full of appreciation.
Same
Thank
here.
you very much. I would like to now ask Vishal to conclude the event by a small
Sure.
prayer because
Yeah,
we've
sure.
had quite a discussion which I hope will enlighten many people. Vishal, did you learn something
Yeah,
new?
sure. Yeah, very much. The Swamiji, a very insightful session. And the best part I liked is the way you elaborated the answers. It was right from the heart and it was really too good. Very, very enlightening. Thank you so much
I think we have taken
for
a lot of
giving our
time of
viewers
Pradeep
and stuff.
today. Huh?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Pradeep,
yeah.
are we okay?
So we'll get,
Is Pradeep okay?
yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Mataji. Thank you very
Okay,
much
will you
for coming
conclude
on the
today?
show.
Swamiji, thank
Yeah,
you very
sure.
much for coming on our show. And
Welcome, welcome.
Birama, thank you very much for coming on our show. God bless you. And I
Thank
hope to
you.
see you in Bali. Huh? I hope you have my room ready.
Yes,
And hopefully, when
welcome.
Swamiji is there, we'll time ourselves. Swamiji, when are you going to Bali again?
Not yet sure.
Okay, we'll keep in touch. I'll ask you. And
Yeah,
if you have
sure.
come there, so
When Mataji calls.
will you be in India in September, October?
Yeah, there is a program of going to UK in September. I think I will be back by October. Yeah, before
Okay,
Navaratri, I have to be back in India.
okay. So that's another subject that I wanted to talk about is the eight aspects of Devi, which I just read recently, and many people don't know about these things and they just worship. So I would like to clarify these aspects about Devi. Will you be able to do it another time or?
Yeah, but now, just within a few days, I'm going out of the city, so I will be out of station. So I will be going to our headquarters for quite a few days, and then I will be coming back. Okay, we will communicate and we will
So you let
keep.
me know whenever you're free, then we'll have a special show on this particular thing, because
Okay.
worshipping is of very importance to us. Because everybody worships Devi Mata, but many people are not aware of it fully. At least I'm not aware fully of it, of the potentialities of worshipping.
Mhm.
Because if you're going to talk about Brahman, then where does Devi come in? So these are the questions that need to be clarified by ordinary minds like us. So
Yes.
we'll wait for your answer. Okay, Vishal, go ahead and please conclude today's
Sure,
event.
sure. Thank you. Yeah, sure, sure. So we normally close with a prayer. So today's prayer I'll just recite. हे ईश्वर, मेरी ये प्रार्थना है, इतनी मेहरबानी मुझ पर बनाए रखना, जो रास्ता सही हो उस पर ही चलाए रखना। यही मेरी प्रेयर है आज की,
Jai Sri Ram.
प्रार्थना है। जय
Yes.
श्री
Jai
राम।
Sri Ram. Jai Sri Krishna. Jai Jhulelal. Swamiji, once again, thank you.
Thank you very much।
Sat Pranam.
Always.
Swamiji, Meeraji, good luck. God bless. Thank you to Pradeep for extending. This is the first time in our
Yeah,
4 years
first time।
that we have
Yeah,
gone to 1 hour 41 minutes.
yes, yes,
First time, huh? First time. Can you
true,
imagine?
true, true।
Never happened before. Thank you, Pradeep. Okay, thank you once again.
Thank you, thank you।
Bye.